Hi and welcome back to my last episode of my playthrough of Merlin. Again, thanks so much for all of your awesome comments out there. Really keep me motivated here. And I think without further ado, let's jump into the last two rounds of my playthrough here. Red is the new start player for this round, and I believe he wants to prepare for a building action. So he will move his knight to this space here. This gives him one building material, and I think he will simply grab a stone from the purple principality. Then it's yellow. She also wants to move her knight two spaces here, and I believe here she wants to move the builder here to the brown principality, sending the blue builder back to his player board, and of course she would be allowed to take a brown stone. And blue desperately needs to move Merlin back two spaces in order to grab this flag, because he has to deal with a lot of orange traitors up there. Then it's back to red already. He wants to move his knight two spaces to this space in order to build another manor, and with the purple cube he just acquired, he wants to secure this large region up there worth 5 victory points for the next scoring round. And this is pretty much it, so no one else can go there, though this is a done deal for the red player. It took both of the players a lot of stones, a lot of actions, but in the end red was really successful. We are not done yet. Red also gets an apple and an additional victory point. Then it's back to yellow, and she needs an orange shield, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces here, so she will send her shield bearer in order to give her the orange shield to defend from this traitor. I think blue wants to build as well at some point in time, so let's move his knight 1, 2, 3 spaces here. This will bring the builder back onto the game board. Right now again he has all 4 henchmen deployed, so worth 4 victory points by the end of the game, pretty much doing the last scoring on, and of course he would be allowed to take a gray cube. And then it's red, and I think he doesn't want to leave Excalibur with a blue player at this point in time. So he will spend his last red die. He will also spend an apple in order to transform this die into a 3. 1, 2, 3 spaces. This gives him Excalibur from the blue player, so now he holds both the Holy Grail and Excalibur, and I think for now he wants to get rid of that gray traitor up there. Then it's back to yellow. She wants to move her knight as well. 1, 2, 3 spaces. This gives her a shield out of a principality where she has at least 1 influence cube. And I think she really wants the purple shield in order to fend off this traitor at the end of the next round. And on top of this, as she now has the purple shield, a brown building cube, and at least 1 influence in the Black Kingdom here, she will now fulfill this mission here worth 3 incredible victory points. Wow, she's really doing great. Then it's blue, and I nearly forgot that he has 1 mission card which he can accomplish right away. So here is her lady in waiting, the flag bearer, both in the same principality, so he gets an additional victory point for that. Then it's back to blue. He wants to move his knight 1 space here to this space, so this gives him flag out of a principality, and I believe he wants to get a gray flag which allows him to play 2 of those cards in 1 single turn, like so. Then it's the last die for the red player. He wants to move Merlin 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces here to the gray principality, and I believe he wants to send the lady back to the yellow player in order to increase his influence here in the gray principality. Right now they are tied, but keep in mind right now he's also still carrying the Holy Grail, so this could be worth 3 victory points. Then it's the last die for yellow as well. She also needs to move Merlin, and I believe she wants to move him back to this space, so this gives her 1 victory point for each shield she currently holds. Right now she's holding 3 shields for an additional 3 victory points. Unbelievable. Then it's the last die for blue, and this is really a bit unfortunate, but he doesn't have any apples whatsoever. 1, 2, 3, 4, so he could exchange 1 to 1 resource, but right now he doesn't want to exchange any resources. Wow, that's really bad. Wasting a turn like this in Merlin. Wow, this is really something that should never ever happen. Okay, that was already the end of round 5. Let's move into the final round. Let's roll all those dice. That's fine. Again, I will do all the other dice off camera, and then we will start our final round. Of course, yellow will be the starting player for the final round. She still needs to make sure to get this black shield somehow, but I think should be doable. So yeah, let's place her first die, and this is really, really bad news for the red player. 1, 2, 3 spaces here. So she will be able to reclaim the Holy Grail, and also manages to get an apple for that, and really having an apple for the very last round. I think this could really be very, very important. Okay, this is a pretty tough choice for the blue player now. He also wants to move Merlin backwards 1, 2 spaces here into the gray principality, and I think there he wants to relocate his lady in waiting, sending the red lady back to the red player. Of course he will be able to increase his influence. Right now this principality is worth 4 victory points, and blue is clearly in the lead. And now, as he holds the grey and the brown flag, he will now be able to fulfill this mission for 2 victory points. This is done. Now he will spend this grey flag in order to play a second card. He just played the lady into the grey principality, and because of the flag she just spent, this card is worth now 3 victory points. So in total he will now score 5 victory points, which isn't bad at all. Okay, and then it's the first die for red. He definitely needs a black shield in order to defend from this traitor. So he will spend this die, he will spend an apple, transform this into a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. This gives him the shield he needs. So right now he should be doing okay in respect to those traitors. Then it's back to yellow, and I think she wants to spend this die here, and she also wants to spend her one and only apple to transform this die into a 3. 1, 2, 3 spaces. So she will build another mana. Right now she has a brown cube, and I think she doesn't want to leave this large region to the blue player, so he will lose yet another set of victory points. Really bad for him. So she will place the mana into this row. This gives her either a shield, a flag, or 1 influence, and I think in this case she simply wants to take black shield to defend from the last traitor for now. So she should be covered pretty well right now. Then it's blue again. He wants to accomplish another mission. He has the builder in the grey principality, and this gives him an additional victory point. So I think he's now in the lead for the first time, but rest assured this will change after the final scoring. That much is clear. And for his action he wants to move his knight 1, 2 spaces here, and I believe with that he wants to increase the influence here in this black principality. So let's move her lady over there. So right now he's also scoring 3 more points here, and overall in respect to influence he's not really doing bad. Over to red, and I think again bad news for the blue player in this case. He will move his knight onto this space, and I believe with that he wants to bring his lady in waiting back to the grey principality, again increasing the influence here. Right now they are tied, and yellow is currently holding the Holy Grail. Unfortunately for blue in that case, red still holds red 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. So for him it shouldn't be any problem at all to reclaim the Holy Grail, and then scoring the red player 5 more points by the end of this round. Yellow sees that too, of course, and I think let's send her knight 1-2 spaces here to the black principality. I believe she also wants at least to tie here in this principality. So she wants to bring back her lady in waiting. This cost the blue player yet another victory point because he was just losing one of his henchmen, and of course she will also extend her influence into this black principality. Wow, really bad round for blue. Then it's the blue player again. He will spend his die here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. I believe he wants to send his builder up there in order to grab his, I think, first orange stone ever. So right now he's holding the gray and orange stone, and guess what? He can fulfill yet another mission card worth additional 2 victory points. Not that bad at all. Then it's the death stroke for both the yellow and the blue player. Red will place his 5 die 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces here, which means he will get the grail back and he will also get an additional apple for an additional victory point by the end of the game. Last die for yellow. She wants to move her knight like so, and I think because she just saw that red took the holy grail away from her, she wants to make sure to do damage control, so she will send her lady in waiting here to the orange principality, extending her influence there. So right now there isn't a tie, so red won't be able to use this there, but yeah, this will pretty much give her 3 victory points by the end of this round. Last die for blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. This is not really something which she doesn't need at all, but luckily for him, she got this brown flag here, which allows him to take his knight the opposite space of the round table here. So he will now be able to exchange one resource with another, and I think he will now spend one of those resources, doesn't really matter which one, in order to gain the purple flag. So right now he should be able to defend from all of those traitors up there. Last die for red, and I think he wants to do a tricky move now. He will spend this die here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Doesn't really help him, so he will spend an apple in order to change this into a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and now red gets 1 victory point for each influence he currently has out on the board. Right now that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 influence cubes that are out on the board. So in total he will now score 6 victory points, and guess what? He will now spend his Merlin staff in order to double that, so he's giving away 2 victory points for, yeah, basically 4 more victory points in total. This now scores him 12 insane victory points, but only 10 net. Keep that in mind. He was giving away one of his Merlin staff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wow, yellow is now on the last place. Who was thinking about that? That's the end of the round, the end of the game. We will conduct a final scoring round now. Again, we will start with the traitors here at the blue player. He will give away this black flag in order to discard all of those traitors up there. Here he's defended fine, so he's not suffering any penalties whatsoever. The same is not true for the red player. So let's give away those 2 shields. Those traitors are gone, but right now he's also holding Excalibur, and so because he defended from all of the traitors, he scores yet another 1, 2, 3 more victory points. Now he's in the lead. Wow, who would have thought about this? And last but not least, it's the purple player, the yellow player, who also defended from all of those traitors, not suffering any penalties. The scoring for the environs up there is now really tough for the blue player again. Here he just lost pretty much, I think, 2 points. I think they were tied of some sort, so he's not getting them. He also lost 2 points here because he's also now tied with the yellow player. So in total, blue only gets 2 points. Red takes 5 and green gets 2, 5, 7 points for the environments, which is really insane. So that's 2 more points for blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points for red, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points for yellow. So now, wow, blue is in the last place. Crazy last round. But of course we are not done yet. We have 5 more points down there, and of course red and blue are tied, and he will now spend his holy grail. So it's 5 more points for red. Blue is getting nothing. Same for yellow. So red is really on fire. All the way up to 49 points already. But we are not done yet, as red still gets 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here. So 3 more points for red. Then let's do the same for yellow. It's 1 point here because he's tied. 3 more points here. He has the majority, so that's 4 points up there. But there are 2 more points down there here in the black principality. So in total, yellow will now score 6 more victory points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Really, really a bad round for blue, who only makes 3 points out of both of those principalities here all the way to the east. Wow, really a bad round. Then we score the henchmen, and I believe all the players have 3 henchmen out on the board. So all the players will now score 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 more points. Let's do the final scoring, and this is now really, you're pretty much getting 1 victory point for apple, 2 victory point for each of your Merlin stuff, and for each 3 components which you haven't used, you get yet another victory point. So this is a third of a victory point, so basically worth nothing. In this case, all of the players have 2 of those Merlin stuff left. So again, all of them will score 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 more points. And then let's score the apples right now. Only the red player has 2 apples left, which means he just scored 2 more points. And I believe in respect to components, yeah, in fact, no one scores actual additional points because yellow also only has 1 component left, being that brown shield up there. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of the game. Red was really on fire during the last 2 rounds, really making it up to 61 victory points. I have no clue why there is this 100 marker there. To be honest, I've never made it over 100 victory points, but keep in mind I only played it a couple of times yet, so maybe there is a chance that I can do much better over time. The fact is, you can really win this game in various ways throughout the game. Red was not doing so great in respect to all of those regions up there. In fact, he was only scoring this now 1 time back, but still he was able to make a huge gap. Blue was fulfilling, let's say, a lot more of those mission cards, for example, but in the end I think some bad die rolls, and I think some bad decisions from my side, really killed it for him. And overall, yellow really did a great job up there in the environments and really scored a hell of a lot of points up there. But I think throughout the game she was also not doing really bad in respect to those influence scoring out there. So I think overall relatively balanced game. Blue was a little bit unlucky throughout the last 2 or maybe even 3 more rounds, but yeah, that's how life goes. And I really hope you enjoyed my last episode of my playthrough of Merlin, and I really hope I haven't messed things up during this last video or so. Some folks asked for some final thoughts around this game, and to be honest, I really suck at those final thoughts. So I really like this game, that much is clear. Not sure if this is my all-time favorite of Stefan Feld. I think one of my all-time favorites from Stefan Feld is still Triumph, but this is really great and really thematic game. So it's not like that you whatever adventuring through Camelot and whatever the regions of Great Britain or whatnot. It's still a Euro style game, but I think overall things look really nice. I like the artwork. I really like those components, how they fit together so nicely, like those flag or like those traitors who are coming over basically the castle walls here. Really a job well done. Really a great game. Enjoyed it a lot and will still enjoy it for a time. My wife loves it too, so I think overall definitely a very cool job. And if that all sounded to you like a talk of a Stefan Feld fanboy, then you are absolutely right, I believe. So take everything that I just said with a pinch of salt, but still I enjoy this game a lot. Hope to see you soon in one of my other videos, and yeah, until then, bye bye.